What you are about to experience is out of this world. Politics, history, and of course, a lot of entertainment. It's time to rock it with the Docket.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Kyle Dockery with the Dockery Docket. We are here with another fantastic episode of the Dockery Docket. I'm excited to be here, and I hope that you are excited to be here as well. And if you are excited to be here as well, make sure to go down below, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, so then you never miss one of my videos. Now, if you aren't living under a rock, you know that there are wildfires raging in California right now. These fires might be the biggest that we have ever seen in American history. And it is honestly sad to say, but I believe that the extent of these different fires could have been avoided, or at least the fires could have been diminished a little bit. Because California is home to all of the wokey-dopey bullcrap that I have been complaining about for so long. It is the home of high taxes, a ton of regulations and green policies that are supposed to be adapted by the entire country to save us from climate change. But what does California get from all of this crap? Water not being in reservoirs, government officials cutting the budget for firefighters, a woke DEI program for firefighters, thousands of acres of land lost, and last but not least, the recall of all of these different environmental programs that the government just loved. They love these different programs, but now to rebuild the city, they have to get rid of them. The people of California are suffering due to the incompetence of their government. First, I want to talk about the water situation that is happening in California right now. Now, you may not know this. I think you're a smart person, but maybe you're not. Water is very important when taking out different fires.
Shocked. We're all shocked.
I know, it's a wild concept, but yes, it is important because during these fires, fire hydrants started to dry up when the people of California needed it the most. Along with that, these hydrants were losing power, so even if there was water in those fire hydrants, the firefighters couldn't use it because there was no pressure. If there's no pressure, then you can't get the water out, and then you're just sitting there with a hose that's empty. The biggest reservoir to run completely dry was the Santa Ynez. Well, it looks like we don't need to have a very big investigation because it was revealed that the reservoir has been offline since at least February of last year. Not this year, last year. That's insane. It was closed for repairs to different leaks in its cover. Don't you think that this should have been a big priority once they found out that there was different leaks on the cover? In my humble opinion, this shouldn't have taken 2 years to fix. The governor and others that live in California should have known that a fire could happen at any time, and they need these different reservoirs to help the people and to protect buildings and wildlife and prevent the destruction of their entire cities and towns. Now, this wasn't some little itty-bitty reservoir. This reservoir held 117 gallons of water, and now it's just sitting there, not being used because it is broken, literally right when California needed it. It's done for. It's cooked. The person that California calls the water czar is named Janice Quanos, and apparently she knew about different reservoirs that were broken and hydrants that were broken for months. It is also reported that she, and I quote, left nearby reservoirs disconnected, which led to firefighters to run out of water. Okay, so you are telling me that there were reservoirs that were available, but for some reason, they were disconnected? Why were they disconnected in a firestorm? They need to be online. Come on, people, let's get this going. We've had wildfires in California before. Why don't we have the water ready? Why don't we have the firefighters ready? What is going on in California right now? And to me, This is honestly inexcusable. Now, this isn't the first time that this lady has been in the center of controversy, as according to the Daily Mail once again, she was the executive of the electric company PG&E. The company went bankrupt over liability for several massive wildfires in California. It seems like apparently wherever this woman goes, a wildfire travels with her, which is terrible and maybe isn't something that she should put on her resume. But don't worry though, guys. Don't worry, she has her priorities straight. Take a look at this.
You call it powered by equity, and I know that it's been really important for the DWP to put an equity lens on everything.
Yes. Yeah. And that's the number one thing that attracted me to this role. Coming from the communities that I come, seeing what I've seen through my career in utilities and through the military. I've been in the Coast Guard 19 and a half years now, so I got 6 more months to qualify for my 20 years, which was my original goal.
Wow, congratulations, and thank
you
for your service.
Thank you. It's important to me that everything we do, it's with an equity lens and social justice and making sure that we right the wrongs that we've done in the past from an infrastructure perspective, and that we involve the community in that process. And this utility is serious about it, is authentic about it. And so I'm just super excited to be part of that movement.
Okay, I'm just gonna go out on a limb here, but instead of focusing on equity and justice, what if you actually focused on your job and making sure that there's enough water to survive these different wildfires? It is so annoying to hear people talk like this instead of actually focusing on the job that they have. They are focused on DEI bullcrap that is literally killing people and letting their houses burn to the ground. We saw DEI rear its ugly head again with the LA Fire Department, as Assistant Chief Christine Larson made a video talking about how important race and gender is when it comes to firefighting. Just take a look at this absolute stupidness.
You want to see somebody that responds to your house, your emergency, whether it's a medical call or a fire call, that looks like you. It gives that person a little bit more ease, knowing that somebody might understand their situation better. Is she strong enough to do this? Or, you couldn't carry my husband out of a fire. Which my response is, he got himself in the wrong place if I have to carry him out of a fire.
Okay, first of all, I personally don't care what race or sexual orientation you are. If I'm in an emergency, I want someone there stat. If I crash my car and call 911, I'm expecting them to send a police officer that can help me. Men, woman, black, gay, white, Asian, I don't care. As long as you can help me get out of that predicament, I'm going to thank you and love you. But apparently, this is what the LA Police Department wants their 911 calls to sound like. 911, what is your emergency? My house is on fire. I need help. Okay, calm down. First, I need to know what your preferred pronouns are. I'm not sure why that's important, but, my pronouns are he, him. I need someone fast. Okay, that's great, sir. Let me write that down really quick. Now, what race would you like your police officer to be? What? I don't think you understand. My house is on fire. I need someone now. I'm gonna lose everything. Sir, I can't send anyone if you don't answer my questions. Fine, I guess just send the black lesbian. All of this is absolutely stupid. I believe that anyone can be a police officer. I believe anyone can be a firefighter. But saying that race and equity is more important than taking care of the people in their dire need when people actually need help from police officers, it's absolutely terrible. You should be focusing on the people, not on these different race and gender and different ideologies. I also wanted to talk a little bit about the victim blaming that this chief lieutenant was doing, and I absolutely think it was extremely horrendous and terrible, to say the least. There are going to be many people that are stuck in these different wildfires. Maybe they're in their home, and they're just sitting there, and all of a sudden, their house catches on fire, and a beam falls on top of them, and they can't get out. There are so many stories talking about people getting trapped and stuck. And the thing is, that wasn't that person's fault. But apparently, to this woman, you got yourself into that situation, guess you gotta get yourself out. What an absolute piece of human garbage. Firefighters are trained to rescue people and carry people out of burning buildings. This isn't rescuing a cat from a tree. This is literally life or death. There's also another problem that California is experiencing, and that is lack of firefighters who are willing to go and fight these different fires. As right now, California is using the prison population to fight these wildfires, and they aren't even making minimum wage. That is terrible, and that is sad. You would think that in a crisis like this, that California would hire anyone that could... You would think that in a crisis like this, that California would hire anyone that they could to make sure that they get these fires out. But they aren't. Instead, 2 years ago, California claimed that their firefighters were mostly white males. But this is what California is focused on, and it is leading to the whole entire state to literally crumble and fall and burn to ash. They are so focused on the gender and the diversity of people in charge, and they are not focused on the people that are actually suffering on the ground from this terrible tragedy. And this just goes to show how California has been run. It has been incompetent for years. As a few years ago, they had a surplus of supplies. That's great. A few years ago, California had a surplus in the fire department. That's absolutely wonderful. Maybe they could, put it somewhere and keep it safe for the next fire. Nope, they didn't do that. Instead, they decided to send it to none other than Ukraine. Karen Bass, the mayor of the city of Los Angeles, slashed the fire department's budget by $17.6 million. To make matters even worse, the governor Gavin Newsom cut $100 million from the fire prevention budget. The United States Forest Service decided to end certain forest management projects after Joe Biden opposed a bill to help contain fires because it would, and I quote, have undermined wildlife and environmental protections. Speaking of environmental protections and regulations, there is one regulation that is aimed to protect the Delta smelt, a 3-inch little fish. This has led to restrictions on pumping water from the Delta to Central and Southern California, something that California desperately needs right now. They need water. Who cares about a little fish? Give us the water. But no, California is saying, screw you and screw your house. We care more about these little fish. These different restrictions have also affected different water availabilities for agriculture, urban areas, and industry. This is why California is in the place that it is right now. 10 years ago, the people of the city voted to build more reservoirs because they knew that something like this was going to happen. And guess what? The city and the government of California didn't build any new reservoirs. That right there is incompetence. That right there is unacceptable. And this is why California is in the place that it is in right now. It is home to all of this wokey, dopey, bullcrap policies that are getting people literally killed. And it seems like the government would rather focus on a fish or preserve the forests for these different environmentalist groups instead of saying, screw you guys, we need to focus on us. We need to focus on the people of this city. We need the water from the north to come south. We need controlled burns, and we need better policy. This is why, Gavin Newsom, you need to be kicked out. We need something different in California. Not this wokey dopey bullcrap. We need answers, and we need real leadership in that state. And with that, I just want to thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Dockery Docket. And until next time, like my mom always says, be good, be kind, be loving, goodbye.